Hi, you guys.
Hi.
One thing that we've just really seen here in these last three preseason games has been the confidence out of Camila Cardoso. Both of you guys, what has it been like just being able to feed the ball inside to her, and where do you see her development and her growth going as the season progresses?
Yeah, Millie's a beast. She's just so fun to play with. We always talk about like how easy it is to play with her because you can just throw that thing up there and she's gonna catch it every time. It makes us look good and it not necessarily a good pass all the time. Um, but I think that she's gonna continue to grow when she starts to realize how much she can take over the game herself. I know in our last preseason game we're like, don't pass it out. Like, go score. I don't care if there's two people. Like, she could score over two people. So we're like, just score. So when she gets that like mentality, she's gonna be a beast.
Yeah, early on in training camp, I went up to her and said, I just like feel like I'm gonna get a lot of assists from you, so just make your layups and I'll just throw it, no problem. And that's exactly what I feel. Like I feel like for as us as shooters, it's always great when you have posts on the inside who are so dominant and can be that dominant, because we get to set the back screens for them. So that usually helps out. And I think when you look at Millie, the big piece of it for me is like defensively as well. She has so much talent. And I think the first play in that Minnesota game, the last time we played them, she guarded the ball screen and then got back and blocked the shot. And so I'm like, every time you move your feet on a ball screen, you're going to be so difficult to play against because we have to read as guards. We're difficult, and you can alter any shot. And so I think we keep telling her, like Rachel said, like go score when you get the ball in the post and you're in the paint, score. But on the defensive end, she's going to be huge for us as well.
We'll go Jason, third row on your left.
Kia to your left. You came to a team that was 13-27 last season. What do you sense about the ambition that this group has going into this year?
Well, the team I came from was like 12-38, I think. So, a little different. But I think if you look at it, just coming into this locker room, we talk about it a lot. There's a lot of new, right? Like there's a lot of new players. There's a new system. But what I like is that it feels like we're gelling pretty quickly. And I've been on a lot of different training camps and a lot of different teams. And I think this is the one that's felt the smoothest in terms of coming in. There's a great mix of vets where when you have a lot of vets in training camp and understanding that training camp's only 14 days max, you've got to put in all your offensive systems and your defensive systems and integrate new players at the same time. It's difficult, but I think what I feel right now is like with vets, you don't got to tell them twice. This is what we're running. We've probably run it somewhere else. Get through it. We can help the younger ones because we're oftentimes the ones that go first in some of those drills. And so they just pick up on it really quickly. You don't have to tell them twice, which is great. And so that's where you see the movement going forward when you're not stuck on the same thing day after day in training camp. I feel like we're progressing pretty quickly. And then the chemistry stuff off the court is just going to translate to the on the court stuff.
We'll go to Nancy, third row on your left.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. This is for both of you. The league has really had a lot of growth over the last couple of years in particular. And I'm just wondering if you can put your finger on what it is exactly that is kind of pushing the league forward and what you want to see this year and in the years to come, given that there's going to be a new CBA at the end of the year.
Can you tell me what you said? It's not you. It's
the echo. Can you put your finger on why it grew?
why the league grew.
Yeah.
Oh, social media for sure. Social media. Man, I think it's just been so many more eyes on the game. I mean, you get to see, growing up, like we weren't able to see the WNBA that easily unless you lived in a town that had a team and you went to the game. Or maybe you got to see the playoffs or the finals on TV. So it's just, I think social media, you can see us anywhere, everywhere, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever. And so yeah, I just think that's the visibility has just grown insane amounts.
Yeah, I think we still have to continue to build on that visibility. I think when I first came into the league, it was more local stations that had on every game. But when you left a college, say, Brianna Stewart came from UConn, she went to Seattle. Well, all the people that were in the Connecticut, New York area didn't have Seattle's local station, so they couldn't follow their favorite players. Now, because of the visibility that we have, and because we have these computers in our pocket, and we can stream things more easily, you can actually follow your favorite players from college into the pros. And so then now you're starting to, a new fan last year that came in with Angel Reese now knows who everyone else is on Chicago because they've now watched the Chicago Sky game, right? And so the growth has then come from there. We have to continue to do a good job of making it accessible for people, like no more blackout zones. When you're, sometimes I'm just in the car. I know it's a blackout zone, but I'm in the car and I need it on my phone. And giving people, putting it in a place where it's easily accessible is kind of the big piece of what I'm trying to get at there in terms of the visibility, and continuing to grow and tell stories, right? Like everybody in this room is important because you tell the stories of each and every one of us as individuals, as humans, what we do on and off the court. And so that helps grow the game as well because our stories are going to resonate with somebody, and hopefully a young woman who's going to probably come take our jobs in the next 40 years.
We'll go to Alyssa, second row on your left.
Hey guys. Kia, I remember in your intro presser, you were talking about like post ACL injury, things really clicked for you when you realized like you're not going to be your old self, you're going to be something new. Can you tell us a little bit about like what is new Kia Nurse?
Yeah, she's still really funny, and pretty bright now. I think for me, going to Athletes Unlimited in the off season was huge. The 5-on-5 was what I needed when I was like missing in my off season from the broadcast stuff that I do at home. And going there, I have told so many people, it was great for my encore, but it was so good for my soul. Like just being in a place where it was just go out there and play. It's so player led that you take away everything from coaching and quote unquote politics of basketball that exist in places, and you just go and play and you hoop. And it's the purest form of hoop. And so for me, I actually started to feel like confident in my basketball game again. And that's getting out in transition. That's knocking down the three ball with consistency. The more I smile on the court, the better I'm playing usually. Because that means I'm probably in somebody's head and I'm probably annoying somebody, which is great. And so I think a lot of the stuff that I did before my ACL is still there. I'm still going to dive on loose balls. I still want to be one of the toughest players on the floor. I'm still going to defend and shoot the three ball. But I can get into the mid-range game and I can play in transition and I can feel like I can hit somebody again and land safely. And my body's not subconsciously trying to avoid that. So yeah, she's a happy girl. She's a happy basketball player. That's what all it needs.
We'll go to David, second row on your right. Then we'll go to Elias and then Claire.
Hi, ladies. You've both been through the WNBA season grind. I just want to know what continues to give you that competitive edge, that love for competing every single day.
We've been through the WNBA. What keeps you going competitive edge?
Oh, great question. Man, I don't know. I think just the love for the game. I don't know. I just love playing. I love not even just that part, but just the relationships. Like every season, just being around really awesome women, and just totally different types of people. It's just really, really fun. And that plays into just, I want to play basketball. I want to have fun. I want to compete with like the coolest people alongside of me and have fun while doing it. So I'd probably say that's what it is, just being around great people.
I'm pretty biased, but I think this is like the best job in the world. We go to the gym for like 5 to 6, sometimes 7 if you're eager, hours a day. We run up and down a court for like 3 of those hours. We lift, we chat, do recovery and go home, and then do what everybody else does when they go home, right? And that's just, to me, we're doing something that we love, that we've done since we were so young, and we get paid to do it. And it's really fun. And there's a level of leaving a legacy as well in your communities. The young women that are now going through some of those systems that we went through as kids, the systems I went through in Canada, the systems that Rach went through in Minnesota, and thinking to themselves, Rachel Banham did this and got to the WNBA, now I can do it. And so what better way to leave a legacy than a piece of leather filled with air that you get paid to shoot into a hoop? Like, if you think about it, best job in the world.
Last few, we'll go to Elias, back row right.
For Kia, just signing on during the off season, what attracted you to the organization? What were some of those main things, and how have they been maybe reaffirmed already in training camp?
I got the first part of it. What attracted
Just how
me
have
to it?
maybe some of those things been reaffirmed already in training
Yeah.
camp?
At my free agency meetings, I really appreciated getting to know Tyler a little bit and his philosophies. He's a quiet guy, but he's a man of few words, but it gets to the point when he's speaking. And I felt like that was a really good connection that I had made with him. Jeff was the same way, and Jeff is really honest. And I feel like you can go into a lot of those free agency meetings and it can be a lot of fluff. Jeff doesn't give you fluff. He tells you how it is. And so I appreciated that. And I had Elizabeth Williams with me when I was going through the process at Athletes Unlimited. I'll give her some credit. She sold me on Chicago, and was honestly really honest with me about her experience here too, the good and the stuff that might need a little bit of improvement. But I feel like I've said it to a bunch of people around here. I'm like, this has been a great transition. It's been probably more than I expected. And this is an organization that I feel like really values their athletes and wants us to worry about only basketball, and everything else they help take care of.
We'll go to Claire. We'll close out. Third row on your left.
Claire Watkins with Just Women's Sports. Maybe asking a similar question to you, Rachel. Maddie mentioned earlier today that she came out of one of her first preseason games with a sense of joy playing basketball that she hadn't felt in a long time, which felt like a very rare insight to get from a rookie trying to make a roster. Where does that come from in this group, in your opinion? And is it a mixture maybe of the players that you have and a coaching staff that lets you be free out there?
Yeah, you said Maddie said that?
Maddie said that, yeah.
Nice. I think it's just the personalities that Jeff put together. Like when I talked to Jeff after this past season, we knew things needed to change, and he always talked about, and he knew this was really important to me and Elizabeth. There were some of the returners, like putting the right people in this organization. People, just good people, fun people, people you want to be around. And I think he really did that with this group. Like we really just love to be around each other, and we love to be weird and have fun and just like have joy in what we're doing, even if it's not always going to look pretty. So I think that's a big piece. The players, and then the Jeff, and then the coaches, they let us kind of rock out. Like we're weird and they're just like, okay, you know, like Tyler just giggles at it and we keep it moving. So I think we all are just really great about letting each other be who we are and accepting that and respecting each other.
That concludes